Have you noticed a quiet coldness settling in? Not because you are unkind, not because you stopped caring, but because somewhere along the way you learned that staying open meant getting hurt. And so, slowly, almost without realizing it, you began to close. You built walls, not out of cruelty, out of exhaustion, and for a while, those walls kept you safe. The mind is wise in its own way. When life brings too much pain, something inside you says, enough. It withdraws, it hardens, it learns to feel less. This is not a flaw, this is survival. But here is what Buddhism gently teaches, and what your heart may already sense. Hardness is brittle. A wall cracks under pressure. It does not bend. It does not breathe. Water, however, flows around every obstacle. It softens stone not by force, but by returning, again and again, without resistance. True strength was never the wall. True strength is the courage to remain open even after being hurt. Especially after being hurt. If you have been carrying the weight of old wounds, defending yourself from pain that no longer exists, or wondering why peace feels so far away, this reflection is for you. In the next few minutes, we will explore 8 lessons on how to heal your old wounds so you no longer have to spend the rest of your life defending them. Take a slow breath. You are safe here. Let us begin. Lesson 1. Recognize that your armor is draining you. Think about what it actually feels like to live on guard. The shoulders that never fully drop. The jaw that tightens before someone even finishes their sentence. The way you scan a room, or a text message, or a tone of voice, looking for the thing that is about to go wrong. You may not call it armor, you may call it being careful, being realistic, not letting yourself get hurt again. But the body knows the difference. When you live in defense mode, your nervous system does not take breaks. It stays alert hour after hour, day after day, burning energy that was never meant to run this long. Modern science calls it chronic stress. Buddhism calls it the suffering that comes from constant resistance. The name does not matter. The exhaustion is the same. And here is what makes it quietly heartbreaking. Most of the time, you are not even reacting to what is in front of you. You are reacting to the past. Someone speaks a little sharply, and your chest tightens, not because of what they just said, but because of someone who spoke that way to you years ago. Someone goes quiet, and you immediately assume the worst, not because of them, but because silence once meant you were in trouble. A relationship starts to feel good, and part of you starts waiting for it to fall apart, because that is what happened before. The Buddha called this samskara, the deeply worn grooves of past experience that shape how we see the present. Not bad habits, not character flaws, just old learning that has not yet been updated. You learned what you needed to learn to survive. That is not wrong. But the lesson was written for a chapter that has already ended. And yet the mind keeps reading from it, applying old conclusions to new moments, defending against threats that no longer exist. This is why the armor drains you. It is not protecting you from the present. It is trapping you inside the past. The first step Buddhism offers is not to tear the armor down. That would be too fast, too rough. The invitation is simpler. Just notice it. Notice when your body braces before anything has actually happened. Notice when your reaction feels larger than the moment deserves. Notice the gap between what is actually here and what the mind is certain is coming. That noticing alone is not small. In Buddhist practice, awareness is the beginning of freedom, not fixing, not analyzing, just seeing clearly. When you can see the armor for what it is, an old response, not a present truth, something loosens. Not all at once. Gradually, the way a fist slowly opens when it finally realizes it is not holding anything worth protecting. You do not need to be this tired. The threat the armor was built for it may already be gone. Lesson 2. The power of the sacred pause. Something happens. Maybe it is a message that lands the wrong way. A comment at work that feels like a small knife. Someone cancels on you last minute again. Or nothing dramatic at all. Just a look. A silence. A tone of voice that your body recognizes before your mind does. And before you even realize what is happening, you are already there. Heart moving faster, throat tightening, the words forming, or the walls going up, or that familiar urge to either fight or disappear. This is the moment most people skip, not because they are careless, because it happens so fast. The trigger and the reaction feel like one single thing, like cause and effect, with no space between them. Like the mind was never given a choice. But Buddhism teaches something that is worth sitting with. Between what happens to you and how you respond, there is always a space. It may be very small, a fraction of a second, but it is there. And in that space, everything is possible. The Buddha described the untrained mind as someone being hit by 2 arrows. The first arrow is the painful event itself, the unkind word, the disappointment, the loss. That arrow is real. It hurts. You cannot always avoid it. The second arrow is what you do next. The story you build around it. The way you turn it inward or outward, or drag it into the next hour, the next day. That second arrow, the one that multiplies the suffering, that one is optional. The sacred pause is how you stop firing it. But here is what the pause is not. It is not gritting your teeth and holding everything in. It is not telling yourself to calm down before you are ready. It is not explaining to yourself why the reaction is irrational, or trying to fix whatever triggered you, or finding the right words to say. Not yet. Not in that moment. The pause is simpler than all of that, and harder. It is just notice. Notice where the feeling lives in your body. Is it in your chest, your stomach, the back of your neck? Is it tight, or hot, or hollow? Don't try to change it. Don't judge it. Just find it the way you would notice a sound in another room. Then, if you can, name it. Not a story. Not "I'm upset because he always does this." Just the raw feeling underneath the story. Anger, hurt, fear, shame. One word is enough. This is what Buddhist practice calls noting, and it works not because it is magical, but because of something very ordinary. The moment you name a feeling, you are no longer completely inside it. You become, even slightly, the one who is observing. And the observer is not drowning. Naming creates distance. Distance creates choice. Choice is where your freedom lives. Try this the next time something triggers you. Not in a formal way. Just pause. One breath. Find where the feeling is sitting in your body. Give it a name. Say it silently, like you are introducing yourself to something you have not properly met before. This is anger. This is fear. This is the part of me that is hurting. You do not need to resolve it right now. You do not need to respond immediately. You do not need to be anywhere other than exactly here in this breath, with this feeling, without running from it or being consumed by it. The pause will not make the pain disappear, but it will stop you from becoming someone you are not in the one moment when it matters most. Lesson 3. Separate your worth from your productivity. When was the last time you felt like enough without having earned it first? Not after finishing something, not after being praised, not after checking everything off a list and finally letting yourself rest. Just enough. Simply because you exist. Simply because you are here, breathing, alive in this moment. For many people, that feeling is genuinely hard to locate. Somewhere along the way, most of us absorbed a quiet equation. Worth equals output. The more you produce, the more you matter. The more you achieve, the safer you are from the quiet fear that maybe underneath all the doing, there is not quite enough of you. And so the hardening begins. Not dramatically, gradually. You push through exhaustion because stopping feels like falling behind. You say yes to things that drain you because saying no feels like being lazy. You measure your days by what got done, and the days that feel wasted leave a particular kind of residue, a low, persistent shame that is hard to name but easy to feel. This is not a character flaw. This is learned survival. In a world that rewards output, the mind adapts. It learns to associate stillness with danger, rest with weakness, being unproductive with being unworthy. But Buddhism points at something this equation completely misses. The Pali word santutti means contentment, and the Buddha described it as the highest form of wealth. Not wealth as in having more, wealth as in needing less in order to feel whole. He was not talking about giving up ambition or settling for a diminished life. He was pointing at something quieter. The ability to be at ease in your own existence without requiring external proof that you deserve to be here. Your worth was never something you could earn, because it was never something you lost. Think about a young child before the world taught them to perform. They do not justify their existence by being useful. They simply are. Curious, present, taking up space without apology. That was you once. That quality has not disappeared. It has just been buried under years of measuring. Hardening happens when the gap between who you are and who you think you need to be becomes too wide to keep crossing. The body tightens. The heart closes a little. Because it is exhausting, always trying to be enough. The shift Buddhism invites is not to stop caring about your work or your growth. It is to loosen the grip, to stop making your sense of okayness contingent on what you produce on any given day. You are not a machine running between outputs. You are a human being, which means your worth is built into the fact of your being, not the quality of your doing. Try this gently. At some point today, stop. Not to rest before the next task. Just stop. Sit for 1 minute. Do nothing useful. And notice what arises. Maybe discomfort. Maybe the urge to pick up your phone. Maybe a voice that says you should be doing something. Let that voice speak. Don't argue with it. Just notice that it is there and that you can hear it without obeying it. You were enough before you accomplished anything today. You will still be enough if tomorrow is slow, unremarkable, and quiet. That is not a consolation. That is the truth. Lesson 4. Forgiveness as self-liberation. There is someone, maybe more than one, who hurt you. Perhaps they betrayed your trust. Perhaps they left without explanation. Perhaps they said something that lodged itself so deep you still hear it sometimes, years later, in your own voice. Perhaps they never apologized. Perhaps they still do not know, or do not care, what they did to you. And part of you is still holding it. Not because you are weak, not because you enjoy the pain, but because letting go feels like letting them win. Like saying what happened was acceptable, like erasing something real that deserves to be remembered. So you hold on, and the holding feels like justice. The Buddha offered a simple image for this. He said, holding on to resentment is like picking up a burning coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the one being burned. Every time the mind returns to that old wound, replaying what was said, reimagining what you should have done, rehearsing the argument you never got to finish, the coal gets gripped a little tighter. The person who hurt you may be living their life completely undisturbed, but inside you, the fire keeps going, quietly consuming energy that belongs to your present, not your past. This is what resentment actually costs. Not in a dramatic way, in a slow, daily way. It sits underneath conversations, coloring how you see new people before they have done anything wrong. It makes you flinch at warmth because warmth once preceded hurt. It keeps part of you permanently stationed in a moment that ended a long time ago. And here is where the misunderstanding usually lives. People resist forgiveness because they think it is something you give to the other person. It is not. Forgiveness, in the Buddhist sense, is not reconciliation. It is not saying the harm was acceptable. It is not pretending the wound was not real, or that the person deserves your warmth, or that the relationship should be rebuilt. Forgiveness is the act of putting the coal down, not for them, for your hands, so that they are finally free to hold something else. The Pali word metta, often translated as loving kindness, does not require you to feel warmth towards someone who harmed you. It begins much closer to home. It begins with the quiet recognition, I have been carrying this long enough. I am allowed to set it down. That is it. That is the whole movement. It does not happen all at once. Some wounds are old and deep and will need to be put down more than once. You will think you have released something and then find yourself holding it again at 2 a.m. or in a certain kind of silence, or when someone new reminds you of someone old. That is not failure. That is just how healing actually works, not in a straight line, not cleanly, not once and done. Each time you notice the coal in your hand, you get to choose again, not to excuse what happened, just to stop letting it burn you further. Try this. Think of something you have been holding, not to relive it, just to acknowledge it is there. Then, quietly, ask yourself, who is this hurting right now? The answer will tell you everything you need to know about why forgiveness was always meant for you. Lesson 5. Embrace the impermanence of pain. When you are in the middle of real pain, someone telling you this too shall pass can feel almost insulting. Because when you are inside it, the grief, the anxiety, the heaviness that sits on your chest when you wake up, it does not feel like something passing. It feels like something permanent. Like this is just who you are now. Like the person you were before, the pain is someone you may not get back. And so the hardening begins not as a choice, but as a calculation. If pain is going to stay anyway, better to feel less, better to close down a little, better to stop expecting things to be okay, because at least then you cannot be surprised when they are not. This is one of the most human things there is. And it is also where a great deal of unnecessary suffering quietly takes root. The Buddha's word for impermanence is anicca. It is one of the 3 marks of existence, a foundational observation about the nature of all things, not a philosophy, not a comfort, an observation. Everything that arises, passes, without exception, including pain. But here is the part that matters practically, the part that actually changes something. Pain does not only pass with time, Pain passes with allowance. When you resist a feeling, when you tighten against it, argue with it, tell yourself you should not be feeling it, or do anything to avoid being fully inside it, you are not making it smaller. You are holding it in place. Resistance is like closing all the windows in a room and wondering why the air will not move. Think of a storm. You can stand in front of it with your arms out, trying to stop it, or you can let it come, feel the wind, the cold, the discomfort of it, knowing that weather moves. It does not ask for your permission to arrive, and it does not need your cooperation to leave. Emotions are the same. Grief that is allowed to be grief, really felt, not managed, not explained away, moves. It shifts in texture. It visits in waves rather than living as a constant weight. Anxiety that is met with curiosity rather than panic tends to peak and then loosen. Fear that is named and felt tends to be smaller than the fear of feeling fear. The suffering that lingers is usually not the original pain. It is the resistance layered on top of it. The why is this still here? The I should be over this by now. The what does it mean about me that I am still feeling this? Those layers are optional. Try something small. The next time a difficult emotion arises, instead of pushing it away or immediately trying to fix it, just let it be present for 1 minute. Name it sadness, fear, loneliness, and then notice where it lives in your body. Just observe it, the way you would watch clouds move across the sky. You are not the cloud, you are the sky. The cloud does not damage the sky by passing through it. And the sky does not need to become cloudless to be vast and open and fundamentally okay. Your awareness is like that, larger than any single feeling that moves through it. Pain is real. But permanent pain is usually pain that was never allowed to move. Let it move. Lesson 6. Stop abandoning yourself to keep the peace. Notice what happens in your body the moment someone asks something of you that you do not have to give. There is usually a flicker, very quick, easy to miss. A small internal no that arises before anything else. Before the thinking begins, before the calculating, before you start weighing what they need against what it will cost you, there is just that quiet signal, clear and honest. And then, for many people, the overriding begins. You think about how they will feel if you say no. You think about the awkwardness, the disappointment, the possibility that they will see you differently. You think about all the times they were there for you, or all the ways this relationship matters, or simply the fact that it feels easier in the short term to just say yes. So you say yes, and you smile, and on the outside, the peace is kept, but something small breaks on the inside, not dramatically. You probably will not even name it in the moment. It just adds to a pile that has been quietly accumulating every suppressed no, every swallowed boundary, every time you made yourself smaller to keep someone else comfortable. Over time, that pile has weight. It shows up as resentment you cannot quite explain, as exhaustion that sleep does not fix, as a growing sense of distance from your own life, like you are living it for an audience rather than for yourself. The Buddha taught metta, loving kindness, as a practice that begins with the self, not because you matter more than others, but because compassion that excludes the giver is not sustainable. It is not even fully honest. Imagine a lamp with no oil. It can still stand in the right place. It can still have the right intention, but it cannot give light, not because it is unwilling, but because there is nothing left to burn. This is what chronic self-abandonment does. It does not make you more loving, it makes you emptier. And from emptiness, what you offer others is not genuine care, it is performance. It is the exhausted going through of motions that eventually tips into quiet bitterness. Choosing yourself is not selfishness, it is honesty. And honesty, the Buddha taught, is the foundation of right speech, right action, right relationship. Saying no when you mean no is not unkind. It is the most honest thing you can offer to the other person and to yourself. It keeps the relationship real. It keeps you real inside it. This is not easy, especially if you learned early that your belonging was conditional, that love stayed when you were useful, agreeable, low maintenance. That training runs deep. The fear of abandonment that comes with disappointing someone is not irrational. It was learned in circumstances where it made sense. But those circumstances are not always the ones you are standing in now. Try this. The next time that quiet no arises before the thinking does pause, just one breath. Acknowledge the signal before you override it. You do not have to act on it immediately. Just let it be heard. Let yourself know that you noticed. That noticing is a small act of loyalty to yourself. And loyalty to yourself, practiced gently over time, is how the fractures begin to close. Lesson 7. Release the roles you've outgrown. At some point, you took on a role. Maybe you chose it. Maybe it was chosen for you. The strong one, the responsible one, the one who holds everything together when everyone else falls apart. The fixer, the peacekeeper, the one who does not complain, does not burden others, does not show the cracks, and for a while, that role served something real. Maybe it gave you a sense of purpose. Maybe it earned you love that felt otherwise conditional. Maybe in a family, or a friendship, or a season of life where things were genuinely unstable, being the reliable one was how you survived, how you stayed needed, how you stayed safe. That was not weakness. That was adaptation. But adaptation that made sense then does not always make sense now. The exhausting thing about roles is that they do not come with expiration dates. Nobody announces when you are allowed to stop. The people around you simply continue expecting the version of you they have always known, and because that version was so consistent for so long, they may not even notice it is costing you something. They may not notice because you are still performing it too well. Meanwhile, inside, something is quietly straining. You are tired in a way that is hard to explain. Not just physically, something deeper. The tiredness that comes from spending years being who everyone else needs you to be, with very little space left over for who you actually are. Buddhism teaches anatta non-self. It is one of those concepts that sounds abstract until it becomes personal. What it points at is this: there is no fixed, permanent, unchanging you that must stay the same across all of time. What you think of as your identity is actually a flowing process, constantly shifting, constantly being shaped by new experience, new understanding, new seasons of life. You are not a monument, you are a river, and rivers do not apologize for changing course. The role you have been playing, the strong one, the fixer, whoever that is, it was a response to circumstances. It is not the truth of who you are. It is a pattern that formed. And patterns, once you can see them clearly, can be released. Not violently, not all at once, just gradually loosened. The way you might unclench a hand that has been holding something for too long. The fear, when this starts to happen, is usually about belonging. If I stop being the strong one, will they still need me? If I stop fixing things, will I still matter? If I let myself be tired, will anyone stay? These are honest fears. They deserve to be acknowledged, not dismissed. But consider this: the relationships that only hold together because of what you perform for them, how nourishing are they, really? And the people who would stay even if you were honest about your limits, have you given them the chance to show you that? You are allowed to be different today than you were yesterday. You are allowed to say, I was that person, and I am grateful for what that taught me, and I am not entirely that person anymore. That is not betrayal. That is growth. And growth, in Buddhist understanding, is not a departure from who you are. It is a return to what was always underneath the role. Lesson 8. The habit of return. There will be days when everything you have been practicing seems to disappear. You will find yourself deep in an old bitterness before you even realized you walked into it, replaying something that happened months ago, hardening again towards someone you thought you had forgiven, feeling the armor go back up quietly, automatically, like it never left. And the first thought, when you notice, is often something like, I have not made any progress at all. This is where most people lose heart. Not in the difficult moments themselves, in the disappointment of returning to them. But this is also where Buddhism offers something that is less like a teaching and more like a quiet relief. The mind wandering is not the failure. The failure would be never noticing, never returning. The practice has never been about staying in a good place permanently. The practice has always been about what you do when you drift. There is an image that meditation teachers have used for a long time. When you are learning to sit with your breath and your mind wanders, which it will, constantly, especially at first, you do not berate yourself for losing focus. You simply notice and you return. Notice and return, again and again, without keeping score. It is like walking a puppy on a leash. The puppy runs toward everything. A smell, a sound, a distraction across the street. It is not misbehaving. It is just a puppy. Your job is not to stop it from being curious. Your job is simply to hold the leash, to gently, without anger, without drama, guide it back to the path each time it wanders too far. The bitterness that pulls at the mind is the puppy. The resentment, the old wound, the familiar story about what happened and who was wrong, these are not signs that you are broken or back at the beginning. They are just where the mind goes when it is left unattended. Your job is not to eliminate them. Your job is to hold the leash. And here is what changes over time. The thing that does not get talked about enough. Each return gets a little easier. Not because the mind stops wandering, but because you become faster at noticing. The gap between drifting and returning shortens. What used to take days sitting inside an old bitterness convinced you were stuck starts taking hours, then sometimes just minutes, then sometimes just one breath. That is not a small thing. That is the whole practice, working. The Buddha did not teach that healing is a destination you arrive at and then stay. He taught that awareness is a muscle, and like any muscle, it is built through repetition, through the ordinary, unglamorous work of noticing and returning. Noticing and returning, thousands of times, across a lifetime, without expecting it to ever be finished. So when you find yourself in bitterness today, and you will at some point, because you are human, try not to make it mean something about how far you have or have not come. Just notice, take one breath. Not to perfection, not to some imagined state of permanent peace. Just back to here, back to this breath, back to yourself. That is the whole practice. And it is enough. Before we move toward the close, I want to invite you to try something small. You do not need to prepare. You do not need to be in a quiet room. You only need this moment, exactly as it is. Place a hand on your chest. Feel the warmth there. Feel the gentle rise and fall as you breathe. Underneath your palm, a heartbeat. Still here, still going. Through everything it has carried, everything it has survived, still here. Stay with that for a moment. Now, quietly, no need to say it out loud. Offer yourself these words. May I be safe. May I be kind to myself. May I live this day with ease. You do not have to believe them fully yet. You only have to be willing to offer them the way you would offer water to something that has been thirsty for a long time. This is not a ritual. It is a reminder that you deserve the same gentleness you so freely give to others. Start here. Start now. You have just done something that takes more courage than most people realize. You sat with the parts of yourself that were hurting. You did not run from them. You did not fix them or rush past them. You simply stayed. And in that staying, something quietly shifted. That is not nothing. That is everything. The world will keep moving fast. There will still be days when the armor goes back up, when the old bitterness returns, when softness feels impossible and hardness feels like the only option left. Those days are part of this too. They do not cancel what you have built here, because healing was never about becoming someone who no longer struggles. It was always about becoming someone who knows how to return. You do not need to change the world today. You do not need to become a different person by tomorrow. You only need to meet yourself right here, right now, with a little more gentleness than yesterday. That is the quiet victory, small, unglamorous, and real. If something in this reflection landed for you, if even one moment felt like a breath of space in a life that has felt a little tight, let it stay with you. Carry it into the next hour. Let it soften one conversation, one reaction, one moment of judgment toward yourself. And if you would like to continue this journey of healing, of presence, of returning to yourself again and again, consider joining this community. Subscribe and leave a comment below telling us which lesson spoke to you most today. We read them. Your words matter here. May you walk forward lightly. May you be patient with your own unfolding. May you meet yourself again and again with kindness. Until next time, breathe slowly and return to yourself.